Okay, so Jello Apocalypse is a YouTuber who makes or well made game videos about video games. He probably doesn't need an introduction given his size, but yeah, in early 2020, right before the pandemic really kicked off, he made a video about what he'd do if he wasn't put in charge of designing a new Animal Crossing game. He divides Animal Crossing players into three categories on a two-dimensional spectrum. Jello's taxonomy includes 1. Collectors, or players whose goal is to fill the museum, get all the items, like basically get everything. Then the second one are recliners, people who just want to relax and have a casual town full of cute animals. And the last one is the stylists, who want to customize everything and make a really cool, nice town. You know? And the point of his new hypothetical Animal Crossing game, Animal Crossroads as he calls it, would be to serve the needs of all three of these player types. And the main thing he suggests is a whole bunch of quality of life improvements, some of which I agree with. For instance, about early game customization and controls on where new houses spawn, as well as instant upgrades. Oh, and Winkle's good, but it would feel weird in the middle of town. I strongly agree with those. But then a lot of the changes he proposes are basically boiled down to getting rid of bills and fees. And in the latest Animal Crossing game, Animal Crossing New Horizons, they actually did most of this. So yeah, how did that turn out? Well, with a whole bunch of people bitching about how they only got 2 months out of the game before they were bored, and they were expecting at least a year. And part of the reason for this is just that the game released in an unfinished state, and updates only sort of fixed it. But also part of the problem is the lack of bills to pay in the game. The reason for this is bills are an important part of Animal Crossing game design as they give a big need for bells, which gives you a reason to do things. In fact, part of human psychology is the need for a goal to work towards. So making it so there's no real bills to pay outside of maybe one or two big ones involving your house after you complete the tutorial means you get everything instantly and then the game's just over. There's nothing really to do. Yeah, you can go out fishing. Yeah, you can go catching bugs. But like there's no psychological desire to do so. I mean, I guess I could film the museum, but like most of the fish I catch, I've already got in because they're the common ones that I put in the museum the first time I caught them. So it's all just meaningless and boring. And to be fair on Jello, he does suggest some solutions, like, not solutions, but he doesn't suggest us cutting the bills entirely. Instead, he suggests having little side quests you have to do to fulfill each of the things to get the shops upgraded. Like, for instance, you have, like, he described, like, I don't remember any examples from his video, though I watched it earlier for research for this, and I don't remember. It's besides the point. The main problem with these is that either they'd be too short, meaning the game feels it's finished instantly anyway. Well, not instantly, but very quickly anyway. And so that kind of leads to the same problem. Like there are actually a couple upgrades in Animal Crossing, particularly to New Horizons specifically. More specifically, I'm referring to the museum. Like you upgrade it to its full quality by getting the cafe added, and the way you do that is you find Brewster on an island, then you talk to him like, hey, when I come to I know you're being a hippie vibing on this island, but like, do you want to just kind of come to my island and like run a cafe there instead? And he's like, ooh, I came to this island to go be a hippie, live here alone in peace and nature, but I'm gonna drop all that and start running a cafe again because you don't even have to talk him into doing it. He's just like, oh yes, I'll just do that for you. Yes, yes. It's like it's a pointless little tiny quest, but even if you had a little mini game, that'd be a one-time thing. It wouldn't take very long to get done. You'd still get all the upgrades very fast. And if you made it so that it would take a long time, that still wouldn't work because then it would get tedious if you had to play some mini game again and again and again and again. Plus, there's also the fact that means that leads us back to our original problem, which means you have no purpose for large quantities of bells, which means you have no reason to casually go out and fish and catch bugs and mine, which it breaks the gameplay loop. Like, I myself happen to have fixed this for myself by basically using player houses and making them to cool things like a little temple as well as like a power plant and having to pay off the bills for that has it fixed the game for me because now I had those bills to pay off, which meant I had reasons to do these casual things on a daily basis. But see, saying that fixes the design problem is like saying that Nuzlocke's are the reason people don't need to there's the reason why Pokemon doesn't need difficulty settings. Like, no, these things should be built in. We shouldn't have to, like, cheese them in, you know? And bringing this back to his taxonomy of players earlier, I happen to be the recliner type. I'm not interested in filling up the museum. It's just too much of a pain in the ass for me. And customization, yeah, I do a bit of that, but also it's like part of the whole point of my island is that it's very much like supposed to be natural, as in I left in its natural state mostly. I mean, I built a whole town and I built a farm and I built a campsite and I built a power plant and I built a whole bunch of stuff, but like the island's not being hyper terraformed into some amusement park extravaganza. It's mostly just a natural thing, but with civilization built on it, taking up a scary proportion of its land to think about. You know, it's a relatively normal place, so to speak. I'm very much the recliner type as he describes it, and yeah, I kind of got bored of Animal Crossing about 2 months, New Horizons specifically, about 2 or 3 months in, specifically because, well, there's no reason to log in and just casually do the daily chores that the game gives you and collect some Nook Miles if you have more time after that, and maybe get some fish, get some bugs, because there's nothing to do with those fees. It was only like when I came back a year later that I had the idea of using these player houses to make more content for myself. You know? What I'm getting at is that Animal Crossing New Horizons, and even, albeit it wouldn't be as bad, his proposed Animal Crossroads would/are not very good at serving the needs of a player like me. It's like Animal Crossing New Horizons is it's almost special, the one that's specialized for the stylist. It's like you can customize your island as much as you want, and you can do it very easily. Which a certain amount of that very easiness is like they should have gone even further than they did. Like again with the cutting wait times and making it an instantaneous cutscene. They should do that, but it's like I feel like the best game for me would have been like fucking New Leaf. Like that game, yeah, there's some stupid shit in it. That's like, yeah, that probably it's good that was kind of again time related. But the great thing about that game is it had tons and tons of bills for you to pay, which again is a reason to go in, do your daily in-game chores, relax a bit, and then put the game down for the day to gradually build up the bills to gradually get the delayed reward the delayed reward of your new little public works project, right? This game was very much the one that was specialized for this type of player, which honestly makes me kind of salty that throughout my childhood I was trying to make Pokemon games into a life sim, as in playing Pokemon games as a life sim, as opposed to playing fucking New Leaf in my 3DS. But that's childhood saltiness aside. That was a thing that game had going for it, and I'm not gonna play that game now because my 3DS battery. It's like one of these years I'm gonna finally learn how to open this thing up and replace its battery because its battery life is genuinely like 10 minutes, and on top of that it's like it's the old game. On top of it, it has a whole bunch of quality of life things that aren't in it, like the fact that villager houses might randomly block off the top of a ramp. You know, it's a whole thingy. It's a mess. Yeah, Jello self-describes himself as being a collector, which, yeah, that's reflected in the design of his hypothetical Animal Crossing game, because it's like, yeah, I can see how he's very frustrated by the fact that, like, oh, I can only get paintings on certain days, and they're random, and it's a thing, and it's like, I have to wait for months for bugs. I can see how to be frustrating to that type of player, but it's like, a lot of the value of Animal Crossing is the satisfaction of a delayed reward, i.e., waiting a week to build up enough bells, for instance, to build a bridge, as a hypothetical example that you could get in the game. Like, that's a part of the game design. Well, I think that, yeah, time traveling is fine, and I'm even in favor of it being made more convenient, like with Wrinkle the Magic Dragon, but it's like, it's a thing. It's like getting rid of all the fees in particular breaks down the game design because there's no reason to go in, do your daily chores, relax for a little bit for an hour while you play the game, just day in this in the afternoon of a day. Whereas he literally says it's a 60-hour game, a 15-hour game, masking it's a 16-hour game by delaying your stuff, and it's like the delayedness is a reason to come in every day and relax with it a bit. Like a morning cup of coffee is the way that what's his name, not Fudge, it's someone else. I forget his name. Doug. A morning cup of coffee. That's how Doug described it. And it's like it's a reason to go in and have that cup of coffee as opposed to it just being and keeps it fresh as opposed to it and like interesting and like it prevents it from just being stale. I mean, it doesn't change it much day to day, but like so I guess describing it as fresh as opposed to stale, kind of a wrong analogy, but I'm already structuring someone else's analogy there, but it's like the thing about Animal Crossing is it's supposed to be like a day in, day out relaxation thing. It's like if you want to time travel, that's fine, but like if you want to design the game to be like blasted through the way he seemingly wants to do, that's to put it lightly, you're kind of breaking the design of the game, you know? So, yeah, that's my video. If you liked it, if you watched this far, you clearly liked it, so please hit the like button. It helps me in the algorithm, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. Okay, so I just finished editing this in the morning. So talking about the production, yeah, it was delayed, so I had trouble choosing a topic to make a video on this week, so I didn't get started till late in the week. But it was a September weekend, right? I was really productive on Friday, then Saturday was my break day, then Sunday. Oh fuck, then I got disrupted by business involvement with friends, stuff they wanted to do that I agreed to because it's a whole long personal story there, so I'm not digging into that, but that meant the editing got slightly done on Sunday, slightly done on Monday, slightly done on Tuesday, and now fuck, it's now for Wednesday morning. It's like, but now I'm finished editing, so I can upload it right. Oh fuck, the thumbnail. If YouTube gives me a good thumbnail automatically, then I'm gonna take that and run with it. If not, then I'll probably make that. I'll probably make that later today, so it'll come out later today. Yeah. Yes, this is somehow it's been like 5 days since I started actual work on this video, and now gotta make one out for next week. Hopefully around the weekend-ish, maybe, or maybe it'll be another 8 days from now. You never know with me, eh? But yeah, the production felt weird. I felt like I'd barely started, like with how much was actually done. Suddenly it's like, oh, I'm nearly done. It was a weird little jump there, but yeah, again, it's an early Wednesday morning and it ain't summer break, so I don't have time to dilly-dally here, if you know what I mean.